done a video on pica, hopefully, with one in my head in the right view. I've done a video on pica. I thought I'd do another video, and pica is essentially eating non-edible items. So it's the sort of thing where people are eating too much or things that aren't okay to be eating. Lots of people have that issue. The other issue they have is lots of people with autism or SEN or neurodivergence, very restrictive diets. So they're the other end of the spectrum, where they're not eating healthily at all because they're not actually ingesting the right food or the right things for them. Often they tend to eat very beige food, very similar food, things like chicken nuggets and those sorts of things. One of the main reasons they do this is because of the consistency. They know exactly what it will taste like every single time, and it's the same every single time. So it's not varied, it's a safe food. But people say, look, my child won't eat anything different. And I saw a thing today that said, my child is just saying, I want chocolates. I just want crisps. Those are the things I'll eat. And they're feeling like a bad parent because either their child doesn't eat or they're going to give in. So what can we do in this situation? What's causing it? So sometimes it is, a sensory difficulty. And sometimes it is a behavioural difficulty. Sometimes it is a learnt behaviour. It depends what's going on. But I was talking to somebody the other day and was saying, how could they tackle that? Sensory wise, I wouldn't mess with their safe food. So if they do eat crisps, if they do whatever, if you can get some food into them, brilliant. Do that, crack on. Alternatively, what I tend to do is I have a separate motivating object that they don't usually have. So I'd buy something new, brand new, whether it's a new game or, a pop-up toy or something like that. And what I would tend to do is put a reasonable task, whether it's, eating a grape or, touching a food or something like that. They would then get the motivating object. So when you think about it, it's pure bribery. Now you're going to eat the food that you don't want to eat. After that, I'm going to give you everything you've ever wanted. And what will usually happen is the child will reject this, kick up a fuss, and get very, very angry, trying to break your resolve down because they want the super motivating thing that you've got. If you give in at that point, it's going to go badly because they'll know, actually, I can just be very, very angry and you're going to give me what I want. Usually, with about 80% of students, this actually works over time. And we've had students who never wanted to eat anything and point blank refused and retched and were being sick everywhere, at the thought of it. And now they're eating different foods. It's amazingly problematic. One of the things I would suggest looking at is if you have a student that is really restrictive in their diet, and this happens for a prolonged period of time, I would go to the GP, doctor, something like that, and I would look at a thing called ARFID, and I would really push to get recognition of ARFID, which is Avoided Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. And essentially it's a label that says either through sensory aversion or behavioural aversion, they are not eating their food. The reason why it's important to get a diagnosis is you can then get the appropriate support and recognition. So you could get a dietitian or a nutritionist or those sorts of things after that. But what we're finding again is nobody's telling parents that ARFID is a thing, and only a few people know about this.